Welcome back. There is nothing better than fresh cut flowers around the house. The beauty and the scents can be an instant mood booster. So Tamara's here now with ways to get that flower power without paying top dollar for an arrangement, because it can get pricey. Hey T, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excited to be in your garden. It's beautiful there.
So I have lots of flowers, and really just wanted to show people that you can make easy arrangements. You don't have to be scared to cut your plants. Some people are a little bit worried. They don't want to disturb anything. They're scared to kind of reap the benefits, but it's nice to bring the outdoors in and not have to shop, not have to leave your house. So I've used various flowers from my own garden and also from a few of my neighbors, with their permission, of course. And you know, periodic cutting of your plants and flowers can actually be good for them. Obviously you don't want to take too much, but it's kind of the same as deadheading. Like, the fewer blooms there are, the more focused the energy can be on growing the other blooms that remain. And of course, there's a good time of day to do this. So if you are going to cut flowers, do it first thing in the morning when the stems have the most water and carbohydrates in them from a cool evening. You don't want to clip flowers in the middle of the heat of the day. They just won't last as long once you bring them in.
So you've done the cutting. Now you've got to think about the vessel that it goes in. So what can you tell us about choosing a vase?
I like the idea that with simple floral arrangements, you can choose some vases that have a little bit more visual interest. And then the same is true for a more complicated arrangement. It's nice to put it in a simple vase. So because I'm doing some simple classic arrangements, I've got a mixture of vases. These are all from Black Rooster. They have an amazing assortment, and some of them are really gorgeous even on their own with no flowers in them. So we're going to start with something basic. So I've got a couple of really large vases, and we're just doing foliage. So I've got on the corner of the table some clippings from a catalpa tree, and that's just really big leafy greens. If you open up any decorating magazine, you know, you'll see these big arrangements on a dining room table, a coffee table in a large room. You know, these are good options when it's a large space. Greenery, even if you buy it, is often much less expensive than flowers. So then we've also got Japanese maple, and I've got this big ceramic oval shaped vase, and I'm just loading in beautiful foliage. And so this is where you can get a lot of impact and some height, and there isn't like a perfect art to it. I like to demystify floral arranging, and that it doesn't have to be, you know, this perfectly manicured thing. So I've just filled up this vase with some Japanese maple. It's a little bit asymmetrical. We can put that aside. The taller vase that has the catalpa is kind of a little droopy. I'm going to switch this out actually really quickly for some goldenrod. And of course, because the goldenrod is nice and perky and stands up tall. So again, like, this is a good one to fill a tall space. And don't overthink it, and that foliage can be awesome. So you want to leave, obviously, especially something like goldenrod. I've got tons growing in my backyard, and so I'm definitely leaving some for the bees. So look how easy that was. Literally, it took me just 2 minutes to do that.
So what else do you have for us in terms of tips that'll get us out there and a little less scared about embracing floral arrangements, T?
The other thing I'm going to show you is just when you don't want to clip too much from one thing, or let's say you're, I've made an arrangement in the corner here with hydrangea, some of my echinacea. I don't have that much echinacea, so I didn't want to cut, you know, a ton of it. But then you can get into mixing some different types of flowers and just using a few stems from each. So as with, you know, traditional floral arranging, you definitely want some different shaped and sized blooms. So I've got a different type of hydrangea here. I've got a nice type of greenery, and I'm also using some of my daylilies just for a pop of color. And again, I'm going to mix together. I like to build things in my hand. You may have seen me do that on the show before. I like to mix together like one of this, one of that, one of this to kind of build it slowly. And then, of course, there's a couple of other examples here where I've mixed things. you know, pop one bloom of hydrangea with like, clip off a leaf from your hosta. People don't think like of a hosta for creating an impactful floral arrangement, but they're big, beautiful leaves. So we can do that too in a smaller bud vase.
What a beautiful way to do it. And I have seen you use your hand as you sort of add to it, and I find that it is the easiest way to do it. All of these tricks as well, you can put some kind of a banding around the stem so it stays together when you put it into the vase, but you can never underestimate the impact of just one beautiful big leaf or one beautiful bud in a vase. That's gorgeous. Okay, well, all the arrangements are stunning and exactly what we need right now in